does that.
So
His mind is really good. He called every single play on that.
He called a bunch of them. Pretty much from what I've read, the Cowboys, they have brought in John Kitna. He's going to be the quarterback coach. They're going to give Kellen Moore, who was the quarterback's coach, the title of offensive coordinator, and Jason Garrett's now going to call plays. Last time he called plays was 2014.
What happened?
Before they brought in Linehan. That was the year that ended infamously with the Dez drop, no catch that I just talked about.
So you guys 13-3 that year, right?
Yeah. So,
whoa! All right, you're going back 13-3.
I
Jason
mean,
Garrett.
DeMarco Murray, which
I think Garrett calling plays is not a bad idea.
No, so from what I understand, that's what they're going to do. We did kind of transition, from that game, but
Kitna and Moore.
Yep.
We both back. Moore's backup for you guys for a while too, right?
Yeah, he was. Both of them are former backup quarterbacks.
That means they like working for Jones.
Yep.
I've worked with Jones a good job. So all right. Anyways, Rams move on. Let's get some commentary on Pats Chiefs.
Okay. Obviously ended 37-31 in overtime. Brady was 30 for 46 for 348 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks.
It's pretty accurate.
Yep. QBR of 80.9. Mahomes, 16 of 31, so right around 50% for 295 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, which I think that no picks is the most impressive stat of the day. But he did take 4 sacks for 46 yards.
I remember seeing the sacks. Mahomes, Belichick's really, really good at running these coverages that confuse you a little bit, especially for the young guys. And so Mahomes can't figure out which guy is open or what's going on with the coverage, and so he takes a sack. I thought the Pats pass rush, I thought their scheme was really good on both sides. But they totally gashed the defense. They controlled the clock. They controlled the ball. And that's the perfect game plan against Pat Mahomes, who is lightning. We got down 14-0 halftime. Come back. And fourth quarter comes around, Mahomes, he hits it, man. He hits a switch, and he starts going. And it's a big difference between him and some of the other quarterbacks in the past where Mahomes, I really think, those numbers he had right there, the most impressive point is the 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. I don't think the yardage isn't overly impressive.
No.
But I am impressed by the ability to have a bad first half and then even really a decent third quarter and come out in the fourth and really put it on a show. So it means he's like a young guy who's kind of behaving like a veteran. You can kind of see that with the Colts game. I'll attribute that to Andy Reid, a lot of that. So
yeah,
I came away impressed with both teams, really.
Yeah, the one sack that was huge in the first half, the one everybody's kind of talking about, took him out of field goal range.
Yes,
I mean that's a mistake a young quarterback makes.
Yep.
And when it's really your first full year starting, I mean, that's a sack that guy's going to take. Yes, he needs to know to throw it away, and I think in the future he will throw it away. But
yeah, I think so too.
That's obviously the big one that everybody was talking about. You talked about the time of possession. The Pats got the ball first in the game, and they essentially ate up, most of the first quarter on that touchdown drive to go down and score.
Yeah.
I mean, and you see it, they ran the ball 48 times for 176 yards, which Chiefs only ran it 12 times for 41. But the Chiefs, like you said, were down 14-0 pretty quickly. And so that, you can't run it as much when you're down 14 all of a sudden. And they've eaten up, a quarter and a half.
And that'll probably be that similar game plan will probably be a similar game plan against the Rams they'll try to do. They'll try to keep the Rams offense off the field. And as Brady gets older and stuff, he wants to keep his arm, looking pretty good. They'll run the ball a lot more. And and Brady really doesn't throw anything deep anymore. Nothing super deep anymore. It's a lot of short stuff, mid-range stuff. Those guys, the Patriots just do a really good job of beating you up on short stuff and running the ball. And their defense is solid, like a bend don't break type thing. But the biggest another two standouts for me during the game, Damian Williams, who started out, who's undrafted, gets picked up by Miami, cut by Miami, comes to KC. He's our third string. Because of the Hunt and then because of Ware, all of a sudden Damian Williams is our starter. 3 touchdowns. So 2 receiving. No, is it? Yeah, 2 receiving, 1 rushing. Yeah. My man's got a 2-year extension now, $18 million. So I think Damian Williams is going to be our feature back next year. And then the other big thing is you can go on like Arrowhead
No,
Pride.
Chiefs didn't have any rushing touchdowns.
I thought Damian Williams had 1. He caught 3 receiving touchdowns?
I'm not sure who caught those touchdowns, but all 3 of their touchdowns were in the air.
No, he got 1 rushing touchdown. Damian Williams, 10 attempts, 30 yards, 1 TD on the ground. Mahomes has 3 touchdowns, and then Williams has 1.
Okay.
So they scored, and they got the.
Oh, that's right.
They got
They
the
did.
1 field goal. So
That's
Damian,
right.
he didn't have a great game running the ball, but as far as receiving goes, he did. And then Sammy Watkins had a big game, 114 yards.
But I mean,
so.
like I said, the score kind of takes the rushing out of it. So
Yeah, because when they're trying to come back, they don't run the ball too
yeah,
much.
because
So.
the kind of another key stat is the Pats ran 94 plays on offense to the Chiefs 43.
Yeah.
So you doubled them up plus some there.
So because of this game, Bob Sutton gets fired. Maybe not just because of this game, but the whole season.
Yeah, I felt like Chiefs fans were ready for Bob Sutton to go after last year. And, he came back one more year. And after this game, I thought there was no coming back for that guy.
And I thought it was okay to bring Sutton back this year because I thought this year was like a 9-10 win year.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember where I had it. So I think I had 9 wins.
Yeah, I don't remember the predictions.
But I didn't think anything. I didn't think number 1 seed.
No.
Nothing like that, right? So I'm thinking like, okay, you let Bob Sutton mess around, see what he gives you, and then you're good. You're pretty much house money. And they really are still house money. I mean, they really are house money right now. So this thing, it's funny. People were acting like this has a similar feel as like a 2014 Royals, where they get to the World Series and they don't end up winning.
Yep.
So then next year the expectation is I don't know, is probably Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I would think. So while we talked about Bob Sutton got fired. The name that kind of immediately came out was Rex Ryan. The name that has kind of taken the lead today with the media is Steve Spagnuolo from the Giants. So as a Chiefs fan, how do you feel about those 2 guys? And I mean, those are the top 2 names. There's other names, and we can throw some other names out there, but those as being the top 2 guys, it seems right now.
Yeah, those are only those are only the big names I've heard anybody talk about. So I'll take Rex Ryan over. What does it say? Spagnuolo.
Spagnuolo, yeah.
I'll take Rex.
Spagnuolo.
I'll take Rex Ryan over him. Spagnuolo, like we talked about off show last time he was in the league, his defense was the worst. I don't know if his staff. I don't know if his players were the best. It was the Giants year. I think with McAdoo or whatever.
Yeah.
I think McAdoo's second last year or last year or whatever. Anyways, the reason that he's coming forward is because of his time in Philly. I mean, Andy Reid has worked with him, and he's a Jim Johnson, protege.
Okay.
And that was Andy Reid's defensive coordinator all those years in
Yep.
Philly. So it's like Reid knows him, just like he knew Sutton and some of those other guys. So it's one of those deals where the guy, so it'd be easier for him to get the job. So I prefer Ryan.
Yeah.
So
I personally think that Rex Ryan would be a slam dunk hire for the Kansas City Chiefs. A guy that definitely can coach defense and has been a head coach. So now you can, with Andy Reid he does spend a lot of time on the offense, with Mahomes. Now you have another guy that has head coaching experience on the other side of the ball. The big drawback to hiring a Rex Ryan is his personality. He's a very boisterous guy. The Ryan family always has been. I mean, going back, to his dad when he was with the Bears, Buddy Ryan, in Chicago, and then his time in Philly, and then, both his sons, Rex and Rob, being NFL coordinators. They're
well, you guys had Rob for a while in Dallas, right?
We had him for a year or two. Yeah,
Is that right? Yeah, I can remember. Yeah,
and I thought he was going to do well, and he didn't. But yeah, I think Rex Ryan will be a slam dunk hire for the Kansas City Chiefs. I would love to see that happen. I just, I don't know if Andy Reid is a guy. He's never been a guy that's dealt well with personalities. I mean, when he had T.O., that didn't end well.
Well, I don't think it ended really bad though, right? And Philly was okay. It was down. No,
Philly. He was working out in his driveway.
He's working out in the driveway, right? Oh,
yeah, that was Philly.
That was Dallas. Okay,
no.
That's Philly.
So yeah, it did not go real well. But I mean, the deal is if they can meet and maybe Rex Ryan being on TV the last couple of years and not coaching has recharged his batteries and. He's got the itch to get back in it. Maybe he'll say, you know what, it's your show, and just if you give me this chance, I'll kind of tame it down a little bit.
Yeah, I think, you know what, some of that stuff's right, because I think Andy Reid likes to keep everything very, very professional.
He does.
I'm not saying straight, like he lets the boys dance, and Kelsey does stuff and stuff, but it's never anything like the big ego stuff it's checked pretty hard.
Yeah.
And Andy doesn't have a big ego either.
And so that's the one problem I see with, bringing in a Rex Ryan. But
Spagnuolo has the expectations. He already knows since he's worked with Reid before.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times you'll have the familiar coach get the job over the better coach sometimes as far as assistants go because they already know they have a chemistry and they can work together.
Yeah, absolutely.
A nice thing about this job, too, is we talked about it off show. We had the 31st defense, and then last year was 27th. We probably need 22nd, 20th.
I feel like if you can get to 20.
The positive is about this team is that you're building on good building blocks, right? I thought I saw some said the Chiefs led the league in sacks. Is that right?
I'm not sure on that.
Oh, I don't know. I know it's up there, and I know that's what the defensive style is a sack team, force teams into third and longs, and then try to force them to convert. Which actually the Chiefs for a long time were number one on third and long on defense. Because we forced a lot of third and longs, but we gave up a lot of big plays too. And a lot of times I felt like couldn't get off the field and committed a lot of penalties, so not a lot of discipline. It was just a big mix up of stuff. You have some good players on the squad. Like Houston's a good. Two outside linebackers are really good.
I mean, D Ford's good. Yeah,
D Ford's I think player focus. Or PFF,
Player Football Focus.
Football Focus. They had him for a long time. Him as a second. I think the first was probably
Khalil Mack.
Yeah,
probably.
Mack's number one.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about that. The play where D Ford lined up off sides, where Tom Brady would have thrown, his third interception of the day. That's why coaches are always preaching that details matter.
Right.
But D Ford owned it. He said, "Hey, I lined up off sides. That's on me." But again, like we talked about in the Saints game, it doesn't come down to one play.
Yeah, okay, so that play is a bad play, but it's not the only reason you lost.
No, yeah. I mean, that's
you got gashed for everything.
I mean, and honestly, when Tom Brady got the ball in overtime, I was sitting at home. There was no doubt in my mind he was going down to score a touchdown. He was not going to be denied at that point.
Yeah, we went pretty. The crowd was pretty. We were super into it until they got to I think the last conversion, or I think they got down to
because it was 3 third down conversions on that drive.
Yeah, there was the third one. I think they got down to the 2 or the 3 or whatever it was, and the whole you could feel the whole stadium go.
That's Tom Brady.
It's busted, man.
There's a reason that guy's the greatest of all time.
And he's and the cool thing, not cool. It's nice to watch Brady, when he's not beating your team, but he's so sharp, man. He's so sharp. He was checking out stuff. Romo was calling it too. He's checking out the quarterback sneak, and then he's doing other stuff. I mean, he's super sharp. And I think Mahomes is going to get there, but Brady's GOAT. We've talked about that before. Brady's GOAT. It's his 9th Super Bowl, 8th.
Ninth Super Bowl.
9th Super Bowl against the inexperienced Rams.
Yeah.
They could lose.
They could. I feel like let's save predictions for next week.
I'm down for that.
Because we do have
It may replay a game. We might get a replay a game here.
Yeah. So I really hope they don't.
I hope
But,
they don't. Yeah.